This week on This is America and the World, we travel on a global journey to explore sacred religious sites in extraordinary locations abroad. Today, the world is rife with challenges, conflicts, and war, so it's important to highlight the people and places that allow us to appreciate the richness, diversity, and depth of our shared global culture. On this program, we'll take you to the serene Sultan Qaboos Grand Mosque in Oman, the rare stone Buddhas of Usuki, Japan, and the beautiful St. Peter's Cathedral in Morocco's capital city of Rabat. But first, a visit to Malaysia to learn about the religious significance of the stunning Batu Caves outside of Kuala Lumpur. One of the most striking religious sites I've ever seen and visited is the Hindu temple located inside the world-famous Batu Caves. To enter the caves, you have to climb up 272 steps and negotiate past scores of monkeys darting about looking for food. The temple lies within, and I was encouraged to participate in some of the Hindu ceremony taking place during our visit. We are at the Batu Caves.
Yes.
When were the caves discovered?
Okay, the cave was discovered in 1878 by William Hornaday Temple and H.C. Sayers. They are the first European discoverers of this cave.
Is it one cave or is it many caves?
The main cave was this. This is the main cave where we at the moment. This is the cave that identified by them. The cave that we are seeing actually is natural.
Natural
Only
cave.
the flooring is being done by the temple committee for the safety reason. Apart from that, whatever that you are seeing is actually it's nature, whereby we did not do a lot of touch-ups.
And this kind of arc is kind of almost like a...
They call it a cathedral look.
A cathedral look,
Yeah,
yes.
cathedral look.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what is you are seeing now, and what was expressed by William Hornaday Temple is the same. He said it's cathedral cave with perpendicular walls and with the flowing stones. So whatever that you are seeing is what he was expressed in 1878 in his book.
So here we are.
Yeah.
And how do you say his name again?
William Hornaday Temple.
Temple.
Yeah.
So temple,
Become-
huh? It kind of comes together,
Coincide.
All right. Tell me a little bit about the temple.
This temple here in Batu Cave is called Subramania Swami Temple. It's specially meant for Lord Murugan.
Who is Lord Murugan?
Lord Murugan is the son of Lord Shiva and Goddess Parvati.
So deity, huh?
Deities. There is a speciality in this Lord Murugan here, whereby people say that whatever they wanted will be fulfilled.
So the caves were discovered in the 1800s.
Yes.
Now we have just walked up
72 steps.
272 steps. They're concrete or
Yeah.
cement now.
Yeah.
It couldn't have always been that way, huh?
Yeah, in 1920, they, as the number of devotees increased here, they built a wooden step in 1920. So as the number increased ever since then, they feel that it's safer to build a concrete step. So they came up with the concrete step which you are seeing now at the moment, was built in 1939.
1939. So now, this is a religious place for people who follow the Hindu faith
Yes.
to come and worship.
Yeah.
How many people come during the course of a year?
Okay, to just brief you on the number is quite difficult, but the main festival in this temple is the Thaipusam festival.
And what's that festival about?
Okay, this festival is in commemorate Lord Murugan. The goddess Parvati gave the spear to Lord Murugan to fight the evil Surapatman. He is the evil personality. So that is the day, to remember that day is Thaipusam being celebrated. It actually, a month in the Tamil calendar, they call it Thai. Okay, it always falls in the mid of January to mid of February.
So there's a big festival?
It's a one-day festival, but almost 1.5 million people will gather at that particular day here.
Here?
Yeah.
At these caves?
At this cave.
The statue is 43 meters high.
Yes.
We say 140
40 feet, yeah, correct.
140 feet. That's relatively new, huh?
Yes. It was built
And that's the Lord.
Yeah. That is, this statue was built in the year 2006. We have a visionary leader by the name of Tan Sri Dr. R. Nadaraja. So he's actually, the statue is his vision. He wanted to have Lord Muruga in a bigger scale. So he built this 140 feet Lord Murugan here.
Okay. So the people of the Hindu faith come to worship here.
Yes.
But also tourists come because of the caves
Yes.
and the temple
Yes.
to pay their respects. And then there's the big festival every year.
Yeah.
So as we go in,
Yeah.
and I hear some chanting or some music in the
yes.
background,
Yes.
what is happening now?
Okay, they have daily two main prayers here. Once in the morning, the other one in the afternoon. What you are listening to now is the afternoon prayers.
Will it be going for a few more minutes?
Yes, it will be going until 5 p.m.
Aha. So we can go
Sure.
and take a look and listen.
Yes.
This is America, and the World is made possible by the Japan-America Society of Washington, D.C., 21st Century Citizenship, the Frank Islam and Debbie Dreisman Foundation, the Nepal Tourism Board, the Sultanate of Oman, the Kingdom of Morocco, the Forerunner Foundation, the Rotondaro Family Trust, and the Embassy Series, uniting people through musical diplomacy. One of the major influences on the culture of Oman is Islam, so we paid a visit to the Grand Mosque in the capital city of Muscat. The architecture is absolutely magnificent and the atmosphere peaceful and serene. I spoke with the advisor to the Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs. Tell me a little bit about this beautiful mosque.
This is one of the largest beautiful mosques in the Sultanate of Oman, built by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said. And this mosque is not just a place of worship for Muslims, but as you see, there are a lot of visitors who are coming here. They're feeling the importance and the essence of living together and the peaceful environment of Oman in this place.
Just to be here, just to be outside is so peaceful, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Islam, is it a religion or a way of life?
Oh, that's a very good question. I think to answer this question, we need to analyze 4 terms: religion, way of life, and life itself. So I think Islam, above all, is a religion. But to what extent? To some extent, to some followers of the Islam, they believe that Islam is a way of life as well, because Islam will shape their entire life according to what they believe in their hearts.
How many people do you think around the world follow the religion of Islam?
1.8 billion, according to a study made in 2015. They are 24% of the world population. After Christianity, they are 31%.
Are there pillars or a foundation of Islam?
5 pillars of Islam is, first of all, they have to declare their faith by saying that God is the only one and Muhammad is the messenger of him. And then they have to pray 5 times a day, and they have to give alms, for zakat, which is money, and also to fasting Ramadan one month in a year, and to go to Mecca for pilgrimage once in the whole life.
So there are certain values to Islam.
Yes, indeed, there are values, and we share these values here inside Oman and outside. Respect, tolerance, understanding, coexistence, to avoid any kind of conflict based on religious differences, to respect other religions as well as religions that people free to believe and free to take their faith.
Tell me a little bit about the ministry and your work of the ministry.
The Ministry of Endowment and Religious Affairs is responsible of various religious communities in Oman in order to facilitate the needs of these communities, to be sure that they practice their own faith. Not only Muslims living in Oman, we have Christian, Jews, Hindus, and other religious communities, and the responsibility of the ministry to ensure that all these communities practice their own faith.
You mentioned the word endowments as well. How does that fit in?
Yeah, endowments is one of the traditional religious traditional thing here in Oman, and we have the importance of endowments, that it is institutions that they rule the society, the people themselves. So you'll find endowments for mosques, for Quranic schools, for education, for other facilities in the country.
Does it just break your heart sometimes, or cause you pain when you see the stereotype or the myths around Islam?
Yes, but we believe this is a natural of humankind and human beings. 99% of Muslims are not terrorists, they are peaceful people. Less than 1% are terrorists, and this is not only Islam, in other religions as well. We believe that terrorism has no religion, and so you will find terrorists from different cultures, religions, and this is of the behavior. This is behavior of people. Oman now is an example of a land that people living here in harmony, and it never happened in this country that people had a problem based on religious differences. In recent study that they didn't find even a single Omani attended any terrorist organization around the world. So this one of the responsibility in the ministry and in the government as a whole to keep this tradition within the Omanis, and to represent Islam, not about Ibadiyya or Sunni or Shia. We are talking about the Oman as an umbrella for all, to keep this tradition, peaceful coexistence and mutual understanding with others.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the education.
Thank you very much.
And for being with you today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best.
One of the major cultural attractions in Oida are the stone Buddhas located in the town of Usuki. Amazingly so, and close by were also Christian too, a true relic from a time when Christianity was briefly introduced to Japan. We visited both sites with a local cultural expert.
How did the Buddha stone carvings come about? How did that happen? Whose idea was it, and who did the carving?
We do not know when, how, why these images have been carved. We found out that these images could have been built in the 12th century from the shapes of the Buddhas as well as the researches of archaeology.
How many carvings are there? How many statues of Buddha?
61 images which have clear figures.
The panorama that we have here, how many of the Buddhas?
13.
So in other areas, there are more Buddhas.
There are altogether 61 images, and they are divided into 4 clusters.
The Buddhas carved in stone is very unusual, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. It was easier to carve on stones than done with woods.
So if there are 61 Buddha carvings, do they all have different expressions, attitude, different faces?
One of them is to show gentle faces. Another one is to show angry faces.
This is now a job to conserve and protect all of these wonderful stone images. Is that a difficult task?
It is a very tough job to do. Our principle is that what we have today here should be preserved for another 1,000 years.
When we leave this area, we're going to go to another area here where there is a Christian tomb. Is that quite unusual to have Buddhism and Christianity in the same area?
I think it is a very interesting case from the world perspective. Christianity was first introduced to Japan in the 16th century with the sharp sensibilities for religions. Some chose Christianity, the others chose Buddhism. At that time, we had the feudal lord named Otomo Sorin. He had Buddhism as his religion. At the same time, he had very keen interest in Christianity as well.
And he was converted and became Don Francisco. So he converted from Buddhism to Christianity.
He converted to Christianity. According to the records of the Jesuit Society, he came to believe that Christianity is superior. But he did not abolish Buddhism. Instead, he nurtured both. That's why we have the great mixture of Buddhism and Christianity remained here.
After leaving the stone Buddhas, we drove for a few minutes and visited a very rare religious site in Japan, Christian tombs.
First, we believed in Buddhism. Then we had a union of Buddhism and Christianity.
Christianity came with the missionaries, is that correct?
Christianity was introduced to Japan by the Christian missionary named Francisco Xavier. These are all tombstones of the Christians who lived from 16th to 17th centuries. The difference is that the 2 of them do not have cross. The 2 of them do have cross. Those ones without carving of cross belong to the commoners who believed in Christianity. Among the Christians in the villages, only those people who made accomplishments were afforded to have this type of tombstone.
So do we know, even in broad strokes of the brush, who is buried here in this tomb?
We don't know exactly, but at least we know that those people who were able to get the cross on their tombstone were the ones who had very influential and powerful among the religious groups.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
In the center of Morocco's capital city of Rabat, the Roman Catholic Cathedral of St. Peter is celebrating its 100th anniversary.
I am Franciscan Friar. I am part of the priest team of Rabat
but I live in another church, in the Franciscan church, as a young Franciscan friar, the Church of St. Francis here in Rabat.
So thank you for coming over to talk with us.
It's a pleasure.
St. Peter's, it's a cathedral, huh?
It's a cathedral, and then it means that the cathedral is the mother church of the diocese, the principal church. And here is the church also of the cardinal, our bishop, that is the place where the bishop, in the mother church, in the cathedral, he is presiding all the important celebrations of the church and the dioceses.
We have visited the Jewish Museum. We have visited the Hassan II Mosque. And now we are in a Catholic church. The three faiths seem to coexist here in Morocco, huh?
Yes, in fact, I think that it's a beautiful reality of this country, where all the faiths are together. Even the King of Morocco, when the Pope Francis was visiting us, he was insisting in that. He was presenting himself as the prince of believers, not just for protecting Muslims, but also Jews and Christians. I think that is a good coexistence that has a long tradition here in Morocco.
How big is the Christian church? How big is the Catholic church here in Morocco?
We think that we are around 34,000 Christians, Catholic Christians here in Morocco. Yeah, and then it's a small community, but I think that it's quite significant because it's a church that is always in service, also for the poor people, through all kind of social works, and that is welcoming all the people coming from the Catholic faith from all around the world.
What does it say about the freedom of religion and tolerance here in Morocco that the Catholic Church exists and flourishes, huh?
Yes, I think that, as you can see, there is a good spirit of tolerance. Another thing is the religious freedom that we understand in a different way. But this kind of tolerance is really visible. You see that, for example, this cathedral is already in the center of the city of Rabat. It's open all the day long. All the people that came in from all around the city, they are passing and entering for visiting. And Morocco is improving also a lot of different meetings for talking and trying also to improve this spirit of the coexistence among Jews, Christians, and Muslims.
The building itself reflects, in my eyes, to not only the Catholic faith, the Christian faith, but also Middle Eastern influence in the building itself. Huh?
Yeah. Indeed, when they were doing the construction of the church, they were taking care of all the architectural dimensions and tradition of Morocco. In the small arts of the Jelis, the small pieces of ceramic that are all around, but also all the materials that they were using for the construction. There are local materials, the wood or the marble, or all the decoration. And then they were trying to build an important building for the church, but reflecting also this kind of sort of inculturation of the church in Morocco, taking care of this culture, this tradition, and the art of Morocco.
We are at the end of our little conversation, Father Manuel. I would love you to give just a short message to the people in America about Morocco. Just tell us what we should know, please.
Well, I think that Morocco is a beautiful country, that usually we don't know how Morocco is. When people from abroad, from America, but even from Europe, they are coming to Morocco for the first time, they are already surprised because they find a beautiful country, the welcome of the people, the culture, the tolerance. And I think that it's necessary, really, to work all around the world for this kind of culture of tolerance, that they start also for the capacity of knowing the other, for entering relation and building together, as Pope Francis he used to say it, a new culture of human fraternity.
Father Manuel, it is wonderful to visit with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for visiting us.
Thank you,
Thank
Father.
you.
Thank you. I want to share with you some short pieces from interviews that I've done over the years. I call them reflections, and you can find them on the media platform Substack. They're filled with wisdom and inspiration and motivation. So search Dennis Wholey on Substack.com. Enjoy and share. For information about This is America and the World, visit our YouTube channel, This is America TV, visit our website, thisisamerica.net, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. This is America and the World is made possible by the Japan-America Society of Washington, D.C., 21st Century Citizenship, the Frank Islam and Debbie Dreisman Foundation, the Nepal Tourism Board, the Sultanate of Oman, the Kingdom of Morocco, the Forerunner Foundation, the Rotondaro Family Trust, and the Embassy Series, Uniting People Through Musical Diplomacy.